There we go. I don't know who else is going to join, but we're here and we can have a chat. And
well, you're the one I wanted to see most this weekend because we need to talk about the locations page.
Cool. Let me clean up my desktop a little bit here, and then I'll start a share, and we can take a look at how it looks, and you can talk about what you'd like to change.
We need to look at the code from, I think we're both using like 3340 for both tubes.
Cool. So this is what we have right now. Looks like I see 3 devices online and reporting for the last couple hours. Looks good. And right, and this is also a good chance to fix that scaling factor that you mentioned. Oh no, okay, good. I think you confirmed, we put this number in and then you confirmed it, right?
Yes, but that's wrong for that tube.
Oh, okay.
It's good for the other tube, but it's not right for this tube.
Okay, so what's the conversion for this tube, or do we not know?
It should be 10 times whatever you're using on the other pages for the EC tube, which it's somewhere between like 95 and 115 and something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know we were using another.
Well, yeah, because the EC tube has about 1/3 the sensitivity.
So do you know where we have one of those tubes?
Anywhere there's a SolarCast Nano. So the ones around Daiichi or the one at my house, or if you want to just open the page and I don't know, it's 4775 prefix is the one I had. It'll be blue on that map.
Oh yeah, radiation of blue. I don't see a 4775, but I guess maybe this will work.
Oh no, 4775 was the one was at my house. So it's down south, okay. But that one will do. That one will do.
Okay.
It only has, yeah, see, it's got the 2. I guess we aren't actually doing dose rates on those, are we?
Yeah, maybe we're just using the same. Oh, hold on, that's CPM.
It's not converted. It's just CPM.
we don't have microsieverts on these graphs on this one.
Okay. So then what about on, say, it must be somewhere where they get normalized, like on the, I guess maybe the real-time pages that are on the main map or something. I don't know.
I don't know. This is SafeCast Nanos. Did we maybe do? And this has got the scroll turned off. And this does not have a link enabled, it looks like. So yeah, I don't know. We might not have anything in here that does the conversion. We might only do it in the JavaScript on the main map.
Well, for first thing, let's reverse the graphs and put the one with the tube we know how to do up top.
Sure. So this one here, and this one I'll double check that this is, yep, that's the right conversion factor. And I guess for now, maybe let's just do the EC to CPM until we find out what the right number is.
Well, actually, or no, we can do it in mem per hour and use 970.
970, probably close enough, you think? Okay.
Well, I did a quick calculation and I did it twice and I got 940 and 1,000. So, you know.
Close enough, I guess.
We can refine it later.
Cool. And that is MREM is the right setting for this, right?
No, it's MREM/H.
/H. And
so MREMs per hour. Yep.
Cool. If you want to like draft up any kind of description text for these things too, let me know. Like if you wanted to say something about, you know, how we like assumptions that are behind this value, for example, you can basically put free text here, and then it shows up when you know, mouse over the little information dialogue thing.
Yeah, it's pretty complex, but I've written something up in before. I'll see if I can find it and boil it down to cool. To 140 characters.
Something like that, yeah. Something that would fit reasonably well in a pop-up. It doesn't have to be full detail, but at least some basic information.
Right. Cool. And the other thing is I think we want to, can we force the bottom of the scale to be 0?
Yep.
The top can be automatic, but but they look like they're in the middle of the graph, no matter whether it's hard to compare them because they're just.
Yeah. Yep, just set the Ymin to 0 on both of them, easy.
Yeah. And then what's Y max is like max reading times 0.5 or something.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how
Whatever
Grafana
their
decides
auto
the
is.
headroom, but yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, whatever their auto is great.
Once we do an upgrade to the latest release too, we can also do the soft. We could potentially do like the soft WiMAX.
So
thing.
okay, so did you change?
We
the
don't have that
EC2
feature right now, but yeah, go ahead.
You changed the EC tube to 970?
Yeah, let me double check. Yep, value divided by
Okay,
970.
and go back to maybe that's what we basically want to do is we want to have them look the same. So if the top one's saying looks like it's saying like 130, 150 is max, and this one is reading a bit high. So maybe we should use because like I said, the number is somewhere between 900 and 940 and 1100 and 1150.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, how would we find out what would make them equivalent? We take this waist right here, like that's at between 1 and 130 time, where they're all kind of close together. And what are the values in there? Looks like about 130-ish, 140-ish, I don't know. I know, will Grafana give you like, can you like draw a box around those and it'll give you the average of those or something?
Well, kind of. I mean, like the thing that we could do is just change the time scale and then it'll average, right? Because it's already giving you an average over the time points.
Right.
So, you could do,
like
right
don't
now
have
it's just
a lot
like an auto interval, but we could do.
That's why I was saying, you look at the where the three colors kind of come together right around 130 and, or.
So like this is a 1 hour interval over the last 24 hours, for example. And so that way you can get more averaging over the points.
Okay. Well, okay, so the point at, move your little thing a little bit. What at 1400, what are those 2 points there? The one where they two cross, the orange one and the blue one cross over. Can you get a value on that?
Yep, that's, you're looking at it. 0.12.
Okay, so take the one in the middle, which is 10122. What I'm thinking is we do the same thing on the other graph and we just do a proportion so that they're normalized.
Sure.
So we like take the 334, multiply it times the bottom number, and then divide it by the average for the other graph and use that as that will make them equivalent. So yeah, like right there. Yep.
So at 1400, so we had one. Let me actually do one other thing here, which is I can do shared tooltip, and that way we can see both values at the same time.
You understand what I meant? Doing doing a cross sum and divide, or multiply it.
Not exactly.
Okay. Well, what you do is you take the number in the top one, which is 0.0122, and you multiply it times the one in the bottom graph, which is going to be 0.165, and then you divide that by 334, and that'll give you a number that'll make them equal. It'll make them comparable.
And then divide that by 334.
Well, sorry, 3340.
3340. That's a very small number.
Really? I must have done something wrong then.
Well, anyway, I mean, it's easy enough to change. Do you want me to leave these as hourly or just have them be like as granular as the data allows?
I think the as granular as the data allows, or whatever the default is. I've been displaying the page as not as the last 24 hours, but as the from the time they came online until now, and whatever the now. So
yeah. So we can do it. I'll just leave it as auto, which will basically auto will select as granular as it can given the number of pixels available.
So hang on, the uncovered is a little bit higher. It's actually the uncovered one. Anyway, well, I'll work out that number, and send you a text and you can change it because it's just one detail. I mean, the actual ideal thing is for me to get a SolarCast Nano of the same type and put it in my calibration field and actually see what it does.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and I'll have to do that eventually, but that'll be, but then what we'll do is we'll get that number, we'll put it in, and everything will be fixed, back retroactively.
Great. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and this, the map over there, is there a way to change the default zoom? So like the one you've got right there? Because the default, what comes up when you load the page, they're all just one dot.
Yeah, let me see, because I thought it's supposed to be auto, but no, okay. Can I just leave this out and like have it zoom to data? No. Center on left, geohash. Oh, fit to data. That gets us closer, but it doesn't, it's not zooming in.
Or maybe the maximum isn't high enough. Is the maximum, what's the maximum, like 15?
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
the max is default to 11, and I'll have it zoom to data with a maximum level of 15.
Yeah,
and that
fit to
gets us-
data and maximum works great.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
good.
That looks more interesting. Cool. And yeah, then we need to change this as well, because this is still
right, microsieverts.
Yeah, and so what I don't know for sure, yeah,
the colors should be the same. They just should be, 33340, and then labels to mrem per hour.
well, and then these all need to change to be one order different, right? So it's going to be like this, basically.
Ah, I see.
I think, right? Like the cutoff.
I had it when I put them in. There was a bit of a scary feature down there. For when I was there 2 weeks ago, it was all, the walkway was clear and there were poles and stuff there. When I went to put the sensors in, the walkway was covered with rocks the size of softballs.
Interesting.
That had been brought in by large waves. So it's like, oh, I better put these things higher up, because I don't need them getting beaten around by waves carrying softball size rocks.
Yeesh. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. No, something's not right here. All right, so these are.
Well, I'm not so it's not so bad to have it in microsieverts per hour and match all our other graphs. Because
I guess that's true. Yeah.
It's just that the people here have asked specifically to have the data in millirems, and I'm like, okay, and so I think they really meant just like to see it somewhere in millirems.
Mm-hmm.
And so having the map depiction in color say microsieverts per hour, and then the charts say millirems, that could be a good compromise.
Okay.
The person
I guess
asked me to make it millirems. The person who asked me to make it millirems, I tried to call her today to talk to her before the meeting today, and she didn't get back to me. So, but I'll probably talk to her tomorrow or the next day. Gotcha. She's an engineer from the power utility.
There's a random 99 in the middle here that I don't think is supposed to be here either. Like there's an incorrect
0.99. Should it have been 4?
Yeah. And if we do that,
Grafana kind of tends to do that. When you set a time window, it goes from like 000 on certain date to 23:30 23:59 on the date. So it probably did the same thing, so up to 4, but not quite 4, and then above 4 and up was the next color.
Yeah, that's basically what it does. So I was just looking
but it would be better.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is kind of odd to have 399 there. It should just be, they should be probably changed the whole numbers, like 12 is all right, and then 030, then 30 to 1.30, and then 1.30 to 4, then 4 to 10 and up. Yeah. Where did those numbers come from?
I think I tried to adapt them from the map. It's like from the map.safeguard.org. It's a little tricky because the like what Nick went with here is like a non-linear. Right. Yeah, actually this is where I got it from. Yeah. So basically I just picked these points here. 10. Yeah. And then I assigned colors. And then so this is like a full log 10 color spectrum but Grafana doesn't really support that. But what we can do is have cutoffs for colors that happen to be in roughly a log 10 scale. Yeah, so that's where I got the 3.99. I was just
pulled the numbers out of that graph. Yeah, out of that legend.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's why I went with 3.99, because that was what showed on the map, which is where I got the 10.09 from as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and his is just taking the scale from 65, down to 0 and putting, even log intervals. So, but as even as log would be. I mean, log proportional, but.
So this would be 0.399.
It's also upside down because the low numbers at the top and the big numbers at the bottom compared to the other one.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Cool. So I think you
do what you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have a PR sort of open that will help with that, but yeah, just gotta, time. There's never enough of it, especially with 3 kids to take care of. Cool. So that should get us back to something that's.
And really, I want to get this page to a level where I can tell press about it and have people look at it. But there's also the reality that once we start to show it to people, there's going to be feedback, and some of that feedback may require more changes. So. Yeah,
exactly, for sure. And did that? Oh, let me just refresh. The legend might not auto update after I change all the thresholds. There we go.
Hang on. I'll be back in this. I'll be back in a second to do a calculation. Sure. Let's see what I got. I guess I'm still here. 94. So let's do 4 times. What was it? Oh, I gotta look at the numbers again. So coming back over here. Can you show the page, as it looks?
Yep. I just noticed we had a couple other things hanging out. So that's what we have right now.
Okay. Oh. All right. So I'm gonna look at about 1. That's gonna be 125, and that one's looks like 160. I go look at this other page on stainless steel. No. No. Where is it?
Yeah, and if you're going to start sending it out, I think that's another reason it'd probably be good to try to fill in some of these description boxes with whatever you think is appropriate. So because the first thing people are going to ask is, all right, well, what am I really looking at? And so we probably want to put something there about, what kind of sensor and what kind of calibration.
Right.
I guess along those lines, we probably also want to put.
I've never really done a good calibration on the SolarCast Nano for the EC tube. Yeah, and the fact that we've got it wrapped in a Pelican case with circuit boards around it and batteries nearby, all of that will change its sensitivity. And the really only proper way to figure it out is to put it in a known field and see what its sensitivity is.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And but that requires the other thing I can do is I've got over 2 years of data from the one that was a bit on my balcony, and I could just look at that one and normalize from that.
I was thinking we might want to do something like this as well. We can do the little eye pop-ups, but we can also do, I think maybe Peter would probably appreciate leaving some of the donate links and things like that.
Yeah, those can stay.
And then we'll just have to figure out what we want to put for the text content. So.
And someday I think if we do a redesign on this, or we get somebody, a volunteer who's an intern or someone's got some time, would be to have better links on it. So when you click on each of the buttons, it goes to the individual stories about each sensor and has a photo of it and its history and stuff. But got to start somewhere.
For H value. Yep, agreed.
Perfection is an enemy.
And then we don't really need the zoom in note because we're not really going to get overlapping with this zoom level.
Now I need to talk to Rob and get maybe Nick if he becomes if I you know if I can get a hold of him about the way they show up on the main map too. I'm not sure what's going on, but they show as being offline most of the time. And I suspect it may be that they don't have a good cell phone signal. And so when they do call in, they send like an hour and a half's worth of data. And so the graph fills in, but it actually the data is behind. So the most recent data may be like more than 10 minutes ago. So the icon on the main map shows as dotted. And
I know he's been trying to track charging problems as well.
Right. I think that's on the air notes though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. So you weren't talking about air notes, you were talking about something else.
No, these are very closely related. So, you know, they could have the same, if there's a bug, it could be the same.
Cool. So we've got an about this map panel here, and we can do whatever we want with it, but at least it's something to provide a little bit of explanatory text.
Yeah, can I see the conversion factor for the EC tube, the bottom graph again?
Sure.
What is it, at least 970?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, let's make it 1110 and see how it looks.
1110.
Yeah, that's what I came with doing calculation. Okay.
Seems better. Maybe still a little high, but.
Well, you know, that's why the thing is, it may be that I guess I've seen numbers for that tube everywhere in the high 90s to up to 125, and we've used numbers in the past that were, you know, between 100 and 125, and so I really need to find it. Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to get a really robust number and justification for it until I can get back to Japan and build a test rig and actually do a proper calibration.
Cool. Yep, makes sense.
And this location, despite being directly proximate to a nuclear power plant, has very low radiation fields. So that accentuates the difference in the tube sensitivities. You know, when you get down close to zero, the actual spectrum makes a difference. And you know, if you put them near Daiichi, you know, where the levels are 1,000 times higher, they'd probably respond differently. There's probably some kind of different zero offset and things.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be a nice chance to try to validate some of that stuff. Looks like GPS is a little drifty, especially on
especially on that one.
Yeah, but nothing we can do about that really. Like I was just trying to tune the precision down a little bit to see if maybe there's like a sweet spot where it doesn't jump around too much.
I don't know. I don't know do about on here. Nick certainly does something about it, because if you look at the main map, it's stable.
Yeah, we just don't have something on. Oh, that's weird. This one apparently also. In the last 30 days.
That's because that's where
that's where you were.
That's where I
Cool.
tested it. I talked to Ray about that too, and we might do something where there's a couple of issues. One issue is privacy for certain people who don't want the sensor to be located precisely. You know, so kind of like you did at the post office, where you could give it a value and say, fudge this by 100 meters, and where it would somehow pick a place within 100 meters, and stay there. And then as part of that algorithm, you could make it say, well, if the GPS has not changed by more than that amount, then just keep reporting the same place.
Yeah.
You know, and then, but if the GPS changes by more than 100 meters, then go ahead and get a new fix and report you're in a different location. And that would stop it from jumping all around every 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. That could be nice to put the smarts just kind of in the device. Because it'll have a good sense of where it is and where it's been. And we could try to do it at the data layer, but I think it would be probably more complicated.
It'd be better to put it in the device. But you also have you can't just let people set the GPS arbitrarily, because then there's all kinds of potential for mistakes and nefariousness. But if you said, you gave them a range of, I don't know, like I said, 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 100 meters, then they could put it in the intersection near the building and make it a little ambiguous as to which building it's on. But when you zoom out to the sort of neighborhood level, it's all the same.
Doesn't make a difference. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice to actually get that smarts into the device itself. You know, and that way we don't have to try to account for it on the data side to know like, okay, well, this device does this and this device does this.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot better.
And this location, the San Onofre location, is a good example of that, because in most cases, people look at the data and they zoom in, like I said, to zoom level 11 maximum.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here,
it's
because it's a single facility, the natural human tendency is to zoom in until you can see the details you recognize, and that suddenly blows up the GPS issues and make it look bigger than they do in other ways, other times.
Yeah. And there's also some of this is also Grafana limitations. You know, like this plugin that we're using right now, like Elasticsearch has the ability to say, don't give me like all locations, just give me all my devices and give me their most recent location. But the Grafana panel we're using doesn't have that feature. Like Elasticsearch does, but there's no, the component we just got off the shelf here doesn't have that function as far as I know. So, you know, the data layer I think could do a little bit more interesting stuff here than the panel allows. Yeah, but and of course, I see what you mean about fuzzing it. Like, yeah, okay.
What was somebody look into whether there was an aerial imagery option or a different map? This is OpenStreetMap, but there was there somebody about 3 or 4, maybe a month ago, plugins for.
I don't think it has that feature. I remember Botron was looking at that. So I mean, there are other Grafana, like what is it called, like Trip Map or something like that. There's some other map plugins that we could track map that might support it, that we could play around with. I mean, they might have their other. I'm sure any one panel is going to have some pros and cons. So
yeah. And I most of the time I prefer Google Maps in the map mode, but I know other people prefer satellite views, because and it depends on how you kind of navigate, you know, with maps. If you do it by visually, like things you recognize, I recognize that football stadium, or I recognize that building, or if you do it by labels, like I recognize street names and and addresses and stuff. So, and OpenStreetMap is pretty good too that way, if you're navigating by or figuring out where you are based on things that are included on their map.
Yeah.
You're on a coastline, because the difference between land and ocean is pretty obvious with any of them. But what's that?
It has a heat map, which I think is just frequency of points, right? So it's just showing you. It's just showing you for this, for this collection of points. It has a number of different ways that it can display it. So it can do discrete markers. It can do a path.
And what's the map it's on top of?
This looks like OpenStreetView, yeah, just from the coloring.
And just zoom back far enough that you've got more colors.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a heat map, which I think is just based on frequency. Yeah, so this might be something to try and experiment around with. It's, again, getting back to the time thing. I don't know if I have a whole lot of time to play with it, but we could try this plugin and see if it does more interesting things. I remember I saw somewhere, the reason this one caught my attention is because it has a feature where you can, like, for the drive map, you can like mouse over like this, and it will also highlight the location on the map that you're mousing over. Yeah, I saw that it had that feature on it, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That would be like really nice for the GeigerCast drive, right? Because every value on the time series is going to be a different location on the map. So wouldn't it be nice if you could just like mouse over and it would also mouse over on the map? The other thing
to think about for this page is that the colors of those lines represent which sensor it is. And there's no real way to see which one's which when you look over on the map on the left.
Yeah, true. Try to align the colors.
So it's some way, like if you were to highlight a point and then have it highlight the thing and the thing, that'd be good. And as long as they look the same like this, that's fine. If one of them suddenly goes up, then it becomes much more important to know which one.
Yeah, and you have to do this. So one thing that we could maybe do is set up like a filter. So kind of like on, where did I do it? I think I did it like on here. We could set up a drop down like this, So that when you click on like one of these points, it gives you the
It was
option,
like,
yeah, to like just filter for that one, for example. That's something we could probably do. It'd require like a little bit more rework than I want to try to pull off in this recording.
and that's something that's not at all urgent.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't even try to do something like that until we've heard feedback from real users or people who are interested. I'm not sure who the audience is going to be for that.
Yep. Cool. Well, I'd say we've made some progress. It's looking better. The device is in place. I would say share it with any contacts that you have and see what they think, and we can go.
Right.
Cool.
Great.
I don't have too much else to report. It's been, I started the new job last week, and it's been kind of busy trying to ramp up on that, and then also getting ready for. Oh, that's one thing to mention. I'm going to be in Kyoto for the next 3 weeks. The kids are attending a summer program. So I don't know for sure if I'll be able to make these meetings for the next couple of weeks, but I'll keep you all posted.
Okay. That's what you have a life?
Yeah. So yeah, we found a summer school program that it's an English speaking summer school program basically, and we're like, and it also, the age range was that all 3 kids could enroll, which we're really excited about. So.
Yeah, that makes it especially
so we just went for it. I feel a little bad like traveling around, but at least like it's not like we're going to be mobile. Like we're just going to like one place, we'll be there for 3 weeks, and then we come back. So it doesn't feel too bad compared to road tripping around and that kind of thing.
My niece here had started working a little last year. She started working remotely from home, and she essentially calls people and gives them their medical results, test results. She's a nurse, and this 2 weeks she just her kids out of school, so she went to visit family in Oregon. Well, she's not taking time off work.
Yeah.
She just every day she has to be have a quiet place and a laptop.
Yeah. I could imagine trying to do that with the 3 kids. I'm just going to take the time off from work too. So yeah, I'll be just freewheeling for a couple of weeks there. Just get to focus on the family and the kids.
Remotely, why can't you work remotely from wherever, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I totally could. Yeah. It's a choice more than anything else at this stage, which is pretty cool. It's like
my wife did it too. During the after the event, we went up to Fukushima, and I said, "Oh, you want to go?" And she's like, well, "I guess I could." And she just, I was off doing. She stayed at the ryokan and worked all day. Same as she normally would.
Yeah, exactly. Remote working, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Cool.
Looks like it's a good thing for most people.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Which is great. Well, I guess let's get back to it, and I'll post this for Rob to take a look at later and see if he has any thoughts. And I haven't heard anything notable from Audrey.
No.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll give her a ping once we're done here just to see how she's doing. But
yeah. And what's her time zone?
She is Chicago, US, but I forget which time zone in the US now.
Central time zone. Okay, so this would be a hard time for her then, because if she's in Chicago, it's already 11:30 at night. So
yeah. So the thing is though, she mentioned she has kendo practice at our earlier time. So I was like, oh, I'll bump it back and see if she can make it. So yeah, it is. It's like just past midnight for her now, so it would be pretty late. Yeah. And
it also depends on what her preferences are. I mean, some people are just are evening people, and some people are morning people. It's just, but it would be good to cater to the people we want to help us out.
Agreed. Cool. Well, I'll drop her a line and see how she's doing. And
good.
Yeah, that's about it.
Great.
Have a good rest of your evening.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.